Hello, LegendAqua here for episode 11 of Idolmaster Cinderella Girls U149. In this episode, well, it starts off with the producer celebrating with the section chief about the live stream concert that they had in the previous episode. And this time, since the president isn't there, the section chief kind of still airs out his grievances about what the producer's beliefs are towards the younger idols. Namely the fact that, since they're young idols, they can never be top idols. And this gets the producer angry and lashes out to the section chief. The next day, obviously he gets reprimanded by this and basically has to apologize for it. But you can kind of see that the producer still wants to keep, U149's dream of being top idols still a thing. Speaking of U149, the producer finally gives U149's official idol group name, which is U149. Yeah, oddly enough, throughout this entire anime, the producer never actually calls the main cast U149 up till now. But with this being said, the fact that they've got an idol group name, they're going to debut. The entire cast is going to debut, and basically the U149 cast has a bit of hijinks with the U149 name, but also the fact that they're going to tell their parents that they're going to debut as U149. The thing is, somebody is still hesitating. Arisu. And the thing is, Arisu does talk to the producer, saying that she hasn't talked to her parents about debuting. And the producer obviously encourages her to, talk with her parents so that they can finally debut and everything. Parents' permission and everything. And we do get to see, once again, Arisu hesitating a little bit. And the thing is, the day after this, the producer does actually finally meet Arisu's parents, and the producer talks about, Arisu debuting as an idol, and Arisu's parents is kind of baffled by this. Basically, this is where the coin drops, because it's quite obvious that Arisu has not talked to her parents about debuting as an idol. And then it starts to rain. And we don't know where Arisu is. And we do get to see Arisu's perspective of everything during this rain and everything. And we do get to kind of visualize what Arisu was going through, which I'm going to show a few pictures here. And obviously everybody is trying to find where Arisu is. And finally, the producer finds Arisu at the rooftop where the live stream concert was. And we get into a pretty big discussion, basically. Namely, well, this is the question that is on our lips, basically, which is, one, why Arisu hasn't talked to her parents about the debut and everything. And basically she says that if she ever debuted, it would make Arisu's parents feel like they hate her for doing that. And the producer obviously denies this, saying that why would their parents ever deny Arisu trying to be an idol for this? And basically it's saying that Arisu, you know, being the grown-up that she is to her parents and everything, you know, she's taking care of everything. If she wants to be an idol, it's her being kiddish in a ways. And therefore, Arisu's parents would have rejected her in a sense. But the producer does go back to Arisu and says that don't give up on your dream. Like, even a grown-up will say, you know, keep your dream and we want to support you with that. And Arisu finally has a revelation that not all the grown-ups are just being, like, basically not all grown-ups need to be grown up. They can be kiddish if they want to, and the producer is a good example of this. Obviously, because everybody was trying to find Arisu, Arisu's parents and U149 also find the producer and Arisu has an emotional moment with her parents. After all this, Arisu's parents and Arisu does have a talk about this entire situation, namely the fact that Arisu's mom was spoiling herself with Arisu because Arisu was the grown-up. Arisu's parents was a workaholic. They didn't have time for her and everything. So Arisu basically took care of everything that the parents couldn't do. And basically, with all this, it's like they basically finally reconciled. But with Arisu finally having something that she wants to do, be it grown-up or kiddish, she wants to do the idol stuff. And obviously, because of this entire reconciliation thing, they want to support each other, finally. Instead of being a one-sided situation with Arisu and her parents, it's finally, you know, they want to support each other with what they're doing instead. And quite honestly, it's both heartbreaking in a sense with Arisu's situation. But on the lighter side, at least, with this being resolved, sort of like a mirror from the first ever episode, Arisu goes up those same steps and says, basically, yes, she wants to be an idol. Call me Arisu as well, because remember her saying about she was always insisting to be called Tachibana. Forget about all that, just call me Arisu. I don't need to be grown up or anything, that kind of situation. And again, as a mirror towards the first episode, she does finally answer the question at the start of this episode as well, and the episode ends. So, this episode was very emotional. If you can even tell from the tone of even my voice, even I got a little bit emotional. This episode basically tugged at my heartstrings, especially with Arisu's situation with her parents. And the thing is, I did notice this. I think everybody would have noticed this, but Arisu's situation with her parents parallels the producer's situation with the section chief. Basically, with the producer, he's a grown-up, but he's being too kiddish in a ways about U149's dreams of being a top idol, and the section chief stamping out that dream. But for Arisu, it's a kid trying to be grown up and thinking that being an idol at her age is being kiddish in a ways, and her parents unknowingly kind of stamping that out in a ways, because that's what Arisu presumably thought. So you do kind of see the parallels towards Arisu and the producer. This basically culminated all the way from the first episode. And yes, it is like the screenshots doesn't do itself justice. You need to watch it. It is very emotional. And quite honestly, from the animation to the voice acting to the combination of the storyline that we got from the first episode to now, it makes a lot of sense. Is this the best episode of U149? Maybe. I believe there's one more episode left, but this is one of the best. Definitely, it's one of the best. I can't deny that. So, I think that will do it for episode 11. Comment below what you thought about this episode, and let me know. With that will do it for me. LA out.